Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Let Jealous 7263 and says, am I the arsehole for kicking my sister-in-law out of my house? And if you've heard this one in other places, there is a new update to it as well, just so you know. Throwaway because my friends and family follow me on my main account. Sorry for any mistakes. English is not my first language. Here's some backstory. So I, 29 female, have been married to my husband, 30 male, for 1 year. We dated for 2 years and we were engaged for 1 year, so together a total of 4 years. It's important to mention I'm a black woman. Hubby is Korean American. So I grew up in Europe, moved to the States for work after uni, met my now husband, but at first we were just friends. One of the girls in my office introduced me to her friend group when I moved here since I didn't know anyone. Anyway, my in-laws were very welcoming. My husband has a big family and we got along well because I also come from a big family, being the oldest of 5. I love to cook for my family and friends, so the first time I met his parents, I made an effort to learn a little bit about their culture and made some Korean dishes. My husband wanted to host his family, so I agreed and asked him if I could cook. He told me we could just order some takeout, and I told him absolutely not. My mother would disown me if she heard the first time I met my in-laws I served them takeout. Come the dinner, present were my parents-in-law and my husband's brothers and their partners. My husband is the middle child. His older brother is married to a white woman, which is important to make note, and his younger brother came with his girlfriend. Dinner coming to an end, my mother-in-law told me she's happy her son found someone and she loved my cooking. I was happy until my sister-in-law, older brother's wife, started making small nasty comments like, I mean, it's just fried chicken. Her kind makes it all the time. Ugh. She's, me, probably not going to last, so why make an effort to be nice? Everyone heard the comments but kept on trying to distract me. My father-in-law made a joke about my sister-in-law's cooking skills in Korean and I sneered. He noticed and asked me if I could speak Korean and I said yes. Explained how I always loved to learn new languages and I lived in Korea for 3 years when I was younger, when my dad was assigned to work at our country's embassy in Korea. The racist comments kept on going for a long time until I reached my point and almost called off my wedding. It was affecting my mental health, and before you guys ask, why not just go no contact? My husband's family has a tradition to have family lunch every Saturday. Everyone's presence is mandatory. Baby brother-in-law is getting married. Yes, the same girl from when we met. I love them both like they're my own siblings. Since my baby sister-in-law doesn't have any family in the country, and we actually became like sisters. She asked me to be a maid of honor, and I said yes. My mother-in-law, to keep the peace, asked if sister-in-law, devil's spawn, could be in the wedding party. She told baby sister-in-law she understood if she wanted to decline, but that girl is such an angel and a better person than me, because I would be like, hell to the no. But anyway, fast forward to yesterday, bachelorette party. We decided to have dinner and pre-drinks at my house. We're all having fun and drinks and I noticed devil spawn's sister-in-law is missing. Go look for her and find her in my closet. Asked her what she was doing and she said nothing and left. I came back downstairs and rejoined the party. The girls asked me when I was planning on having kids. When I'm about to answer, devil spawn sister-in-law goes. Mark jumping in here, she made an incredibly racist comment about the poster's appearance and future children, followed by claiming she was only staying for a green card, then being able to divorce OP's husband. Then said, with the alcohol and all of the rage I've been keeping inside, I exploded and told her nobody likes her. We all tolerate her because we adore her husband. She's just a bitter woman who judges people based on their skin tone. With a total of 2 friends and family that doesn't want her around, she got up to slap me. I grabbed her wrist and told her to get the fuck out of my house. After she left, we tried to go back to the festivities, but no one was in the mood. I woke up to a bunch of texts from my brother-in-law, older brother, saying he had enough of me bullying his wife and he thought I was a better person, blah blah blah. Showed my husband the text devil spawn is sending and his brother, and called his brother and told him to stop before making any judgments. He should have heard both sides since he knows who he married. My parents-in-law have now been involved and scheduled a family meeting. And what was supposed to be a magical week for baby brother-in-law and baby sister-in-law turned into a shit show because I couldn't hold my tongue. So am I the arsehole for kicking my sister-in-law out of my house? By the way, sorry for the long post. First thing that's popping in my head is, what was she doing in your closet, I'm wondering. But absolutely not the arsehole. I think you showed a lot of restraint that most people wouldn't in that situation. This woman has been making racist comments about you, calling you slurs, questioning your marriage, and just overall being an absolute vile person. And you just absolutely reached your breaking point, which, you know, in all honesty, should have probably happened a long time ago. Your family's been enabling this behavior, but trying to keep the peace instead of shutting down a bloody racist. Snooping in your closet, I really want to know what she was up to there. And she turned around and was going to get up to slap you at the same time. Yeah, come on now. And what's with the mandatory lunches at the same time? You didn't have to have a mandatory lunch with anyone. There's a lot of odd behavior from this family in general for me, and again, the timing sucks for the wedding couple, of course it does, but it's not your fault. The sister-in-laws created this, along with the family, for this unchecked racist abuse. Commenter says, not the arsehole. You probably should have just kicked her out without saying anything else to her. But honestly, that woman is just a racist piece of shit. The only reason not to say those things is to maintain the moral high ground. But everyone has their breaking point. Actually, I think everybody else at the party should have been sticking up for you. It is crazy that nobody has been correcting her when she has said these things. That in itself is protecting the bigot instead of the victim. She is a bully. It's a shame that a well-deserved comeuppance would drag you down too. Not a Moose says, not the arsehole. In no universe are you wrong in any way for this situation. If this family meeting takes place, do not apologize. She's been nothing but hateful to you, and what she said about your future kids is unforgivable, and your brother-in-law needs to shut his mouth. He married a monster. That's his problem. Do not let him make it yours. Too bad I'm in the US. I'd like to meet her and give her a piece of my mind. Another commenter says, not the arsehole, but also grow a backbone. His parents don't get to make Saturday lunch mandatory, wasting every Saturday of your life around some people you don't like. I would never speak to sister-in-law again and only do lunch once a month if she is not there. It's time for your husband and in-laws to face up to her racism and not keep dismissing it. So a little while after this, OP came in with an update and said, hey everyone, it's been a crazy few weeks. On to what happened. So we all went to the family meeting. My mother-in-law started by thanking me and baby sister-in-law for coming. She knows we did not want to be there but went so we can be there for our partners. Devil Spawn and brother-in-law arrived. We all sat down and my father-in-law asked me to explain my side of things since Devil Spawn made her husband call his parents to tell them what I did. I told them everything I've been holding inside since the beginning. I explained that at some point I wanted to walk away from my husband because I couldn't take it anymore. Devil Spawn tried to interrupt me several times, but my in-laws told her she can either shut up or leave. After my baby sister-in-law told her side of things of what happened and that she knew my mother-in-law wanted Devil Spawn on the bridal party to make peace and tried to get everyone to get along, but she didn't want someone like Devil Spawn near her or her wedding because she'd find a way to make it about her, and she didn't want to be associated with a person like her. My mother-in-law was shocked when I showed her the text messages I got from Devil Spawn. I have most of the text she sent to me over the years. My mum is a judge. She always told me and my siblings to keep records of everything. Brother-in-law, Devil Spawn's husband, was very quiet, so my husband turned to him and just asked, still believe your wife is the one being bullied? He asked to be excused and just left, and Devil Spawn ran after him. Well, baby sister-in-law and brother-in-law wedding happened and it was amazing. We had a great time. Since they're only starting their lives now, they could only afford a honeymoon in the country, so me and hubby decided to surprise them on their wedding day. We pulled them aside and offered them an all-expenses trip for them to Italy that the baby sister-in-law always wanted to visit. On to the drama. Last week, Devil Spawn, soon to be ex-husband, called me and asked if he could come over to talk to me and my husband, and I said yes. He came over and explained he's getting a divorce. He found out that Devil Spawn bullied someone in college to the point that the person tried to take their own life. Her parents cut her off when she would make comments like that to the kids they fostered. Brother-in-law told us a lot more, but yeah, you guys get the picture. Brother-in-law moved out. He rented an apartment and now Devil Spawn thinks it's my fault to a point where she goes to my office and starts screaming, has been following me. She's getting so unhinged my husband has been taking me to work and picking me up afterwards. We're in the process of requesting a restraining order. I'll update if anything else happens. Edit, just to clarify a few things. My parents-in-law tried to stay out of it, even though they did see a few things. They never said anything because they didn't want to choose sides. They never thought it was this bad. Both mother-in-law and father-in-law have been apologizing since we all sat down. I told them I understand in a way why they never said anything, but I wish they could have said something sooner. But then again, I hate confrontations and let it go for longer than it should. 2. For what Devil Spawn was doing in my closet. Nothing is missing, so I believe she was looking for my maid of honor dress, which was at baby sister-in-law's apartment, thankfully. 3. My husband wanted to cut his family for my sake, but I never allowed it. I also come from a big family and not everyone gets along all the time. I never wanted him to have to choose between them or me, but he was always on my side and spoke up. 4. For those saying this post is all lies and things because we paid for the honeymoon. Both me and my husband make good money. We normally make a trip out of the country per year in October to go see my family, and because it's around my great-grandma's birthday. We won't go this year because we choose to use that money for baby sister-in-law and baby brother-in-law. Fire or water, Kai says on the back of this one. This is so far from over. Please protect yourself and don't go anywhere alone for a while. Glad she got some consequences, but eek. Cold says to this one, stay strong and do not engage with her. This is the kind of person that needs to be the victim. She feeds on it and will let everyone know what she's been through as an excuse to do and say whatever she wants. Good for your brother-in-law to get away from her, but I have a feeling this has only begun. He's leaving her. And you said she doesn't have many friends, so everything is going to crash down, and she might try to take everyone with her into misery. And there was just comment after comment saying, she does sound absolutely unhinged and potentially dangerous at this point, especially when she's going to be losing everything as well. But OP did come in with another update and says, hi everyone, didn't think I'd be here so soon. First I want to start by thanking everyone for the advice and support. I really appreciate it. Before I get to what happened earlier today, I want to address a few things. OP then goes on to explain about why they hate confrontations and that her husband was always the first to defend her, etc. And also defending the parents-in-law at the same time, saying they aren't bad people. They allowed certain comments to pass before shutting it down, etc, etc. But OP also continued to say, now on to what happened earlier. My husband is on a business trip out of state scheduled from today until next Monday. He didn't want to go in case something happened. I told him to go, and if anything happened, I could call baby brother-in-law and baby sister-in-law or his parents or any of my close friends. Husband went to the airport really early, so he couldn't drive me to work, so I took my car. Fast forward to lunchtime, me and a few co-workers went to grab coffee, and who was sitting in the coffee place right across the street from my office? Devil Spawn. I told my co-workers I didn't want to be there and for them to grab me something and turned around bolting to the door. She follows me outside and asked me to hear her out. I just told her I've been hearing her out since I joined the family. She said she just wants to apologize and wants her family back. I told her I don't want anything from her except to leave me the fuck alone. Went back to my office and called my father-in-law and asked him if he could pick me up after work. And that man was in front of my office right on the dot. As for my car, we'll probably stay in the parking lot until my husband comes back, or I'll ask baby brother-in-law to help me get it. And again, even after that, I can't see her changing anytime soon. Like we said before, that she's pretty much losing everything at this moment, so she's getting desperate. At the moment, she's asking she's trying to get forgiveness so you can get her back on the side and welcome her back to the family if you like. But as soon as she knows she's not getting that, I can imagine she's going to turn the other way. And that's when you're going to see a more angry side of her. But I don't know. What do you guys make of this one so far? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now our next story has a tag of enraging on it. Also a trigger warning of child abandonment and mentions of abortion and infidelity as well. So if you do want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. It'll probably be the last story in this video. Totally up to you. It's from a throwaway account and it says contacted by daughter whose life I'm not involved in via Facebook. How do I respond? When I was 20 years old, I dated a girl for about a year. Our relationship was okay, but we're both going in such different directions. Towards the end of our relationship, she found out she was pregnant. I put on a full court press for abortion. Neither of us were in a place to be parents. I was 1,000 miles away from all my family, still in school, and still very immature. She did not have the abortion. We dated for maybe 3 months of her pregnancy. I cheated on her, we broke up. I talked to her a few times afterwards, and we both agreed I'd be an awful parent and that it was best for both of us to go our separate ways. I saw my daughter one time when she was 2 months old, so this was, I think, summer of '95. Eventually, from what I understand, she married some other guy and she is happy. I felt a lot of guilt over everything that has happened, and I'm not proud at all of my actions. They were cowardly. I thought about reaching out and trying to establish a relationship with my daughter, but it seems a little too late for that now. Sorry to make this my life story, but I will get to the current situation soon. I ended up meeting my wife in 2000 and we got married in 2002. We have 2 kids, a 7-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old daughter. I'm a great dad to my girls and I've tried my best to be the most involved, loving father I can be to them. Maybe a lot of this is motivated with regret to how things went with Emily. I love my wife and we have a great, steady, happy marriage. My wife nor my family knows about Emily, the daughter from the earlier relationship. I've sort of put that part of my life in the past and try not to go there. I'm deeply ashamed of how I ended things then, and there is a real stigma to being an uninvolved father. I've never really said much to anyone about that child, aside from some friends during my college years who I'm not in contact with. Almost no one knows about her. Fast forward to Wednesday morning. I'm on Facebook and my account is mostly set as public, for work purposes. I'll occasionally get messages from people in my past who will just say hi and say the usual friendly, "Your family is so beautiful," or whatever. On Wednesday morning I woke up to a message from a 17-year-old girl whose first name was Emily. Definitely out of the norm since I don't have much contact with teenagers. I poked around a bit on her page and everything seems to add up. She looks like her mother and has her last name, and the page seemed active, so I'm fairly sure it's not a prank. A message said, "Hi, I'm the daughter you don't care about. I just wanted you to know that we are fine without you. You're a scumbag and I hate knowing that I'm even related to you. How can someone just leave a woman who loves them and a baby? Do you even have a heart? I hope you die." Opie continued, "Obviously not at all what you want to see from my point of view. I was really hoping it would have been some sort of friendly message and we could have built up a relationship. I assume her mother has been telling her less than positive stories about me based off her message. I'm not sure how one responds to something like this. I've sat on the message for a few days trying to figure out what to say. I'm debating to either not respond and ignore the message, or respond in a very friendly manner and just not address the nasty things she says, or respond in a more stern manner to try and clarify things, or only respond to Emily's mum. I haven't spoken to her in 15 years though, so I don't know how that would go. Any advice would be greatly appreciated." Commenter says to OP, "If I were you, I'd contact the mother first. Ask her if it would be okay for you to contact your daughter back. If you have the okay, well, she's a teenager and she has the right to feel that way and say those things. Let her know that. You can also tell her what you just wrote, that you're not proud of your actions and they were cowardly. Don't say anything to make her even more angry. You don't want an angry teenager contacting you on Facebook, especially if your family is on there too, and they have no idea she exists. Why did you decide not to tell your wife about this? It sounds like you and Emily agreed on you not being involved. Before you decided to take the next step, you should have seriously considered coming clean to your wife." Opie says the situation is kind of volatile, so I want to act carefully. I think contacting her mum would be best, but I'm not sure if she's going to have great things to say to me. I don't want to get her in trouble too. I didn't tell my wife because I was embarrassed by what happened. Saying we agreed on me not being involved is kind of generous. I told her, Emily's mum, that I didn't want anything to do with the child, and she decided to drop it and not try to force me to be involved. Judging off the message, she must be kind of bitter about it since her daughter has nothing but negative things to say. Not that I blame her for feeling that way. Opie was told again to tell his wife. Opie says telling my wife about this is something I really dread. I've changed a lot since then, and I'm not at all the type of person I was when I was younger. I feel like something like this would fundamentally change how my wife sees me. And it's not like Emily really wants a relationship. It's one thing if the message was in a different tone. I'm clearly the bad guy to her. Not really worth upending my entire life, potentially to talk to her. I don't know what the upside to this is. I can throw a wrench in our lives for someone who doesn't really want a relationship with me. That said, I don't want to reject her more or make her feel worse. It's really a tough place for me to be in. It's not like some perfect happy ending can be had here. Commenter replies saying, oh, I can, well, not really understand, but I can imagine your dread. I'm sure dread is absolutely the right word. I suppose if nothing further at all is ever going to come from this, there's no outright harm in keeping quiet. What I'm more worried about for you, though, is what happens if you get in touch with Emily's mum. Emily lets off some steam and wants you to pursue friendlier contact with you, etc. How do you then explain to your wife that not only did you never tell her about this kind of huge part of your past, but you also didn't tell her when Emily contacted you? I'm also a little worried for you because of Emily's age. Is there any chance you could be hit for 17 years of back child support? That would destroy your family. And for your wife to not know about that would just make things that much worse. I'm just saying, college is expensive. Opie says, I won't lie, the child support issue is sort of in the back of my head. When we went our separate ways, her mother was sort of proud and claimed she would do it alone. Paying 17 years of back child support would wreck our family and cause a lot of problems. There are so many things that can go awry with this. If she's just angry, then I'm going to have to listen to my child call me all sorts of awful names, which doesn't feel good at all. I take a lot of pride in being an involved, loving dad, and having this brought back brings back a lot of feelings of shame. If we end up having some sort of relationship, then I'm going to have to come clean to my wife, which will cause some drama. There are some other things like the child support potential or just all around drama from her being in my life again. Maybe it's just best to let things lie. The thing is, I know how it feels to be unloved, and if there is just a hurt little girl there wanting time and attention from her father, I feel horrible to just ignore her. I think logically the best choice is to just go on as I've never received the message. The hard thing is, emotionally it just feels wrong. It feels like another cowardly choice. And Opie responding to how he's changed, and Opie says, "Do you want to know how I've changed? I'm the best father I can be to my daughters. I do everything for them. I love them, take care of them, support them, and I'm super involved. I really am a great dad to them. And a lot of why I'm trying so hard with them is because of crippling guilt of how I feel with how I did Emily. I can't go back and redo things. I'm not really sure what motivated you to decide to verbally lash me. I'm only asking for advice." So it was about a week after that Opie came in with her first update and said, "I decided to test the waters and send her a short message back on Wednesday night. This is what I sent her. Hi Emily, I wanted to contact you for a long time and I'm glad you messaged me. I'm glad you and your mother are doing well. You cannot imagine how sorry I am over how things have gone with us. If there is anything you want to talk about, I would love that. If you would like, I could explain my side of things. If there is anything I can do, please let me know." A couple of hours later, she responded with, "Fuck off, you are dead to me." Opie then continues, "So that is that. I tried. I guess time will tell if she tries to reconnect again, but I'm not sure if there is much else I can do. I'm working on a way to tell my wife about this and I'm going to tell her soon once I figure out how to. I shouldn't have kept this a secret. My wife is my partner and she deserves to know about it. If anything, she can help me handle all of this. I was hoping Emily would be more open and the raw anger was just a front, but I think it's how she feels. It's a shame because I think we could have a good relationship. It's not her fault, of course. All I can do now is continue to be the best dad possible to my younger daughters, who love and adore me." A commenter says to OP, "Wow, you tried so hard. This totally lets you off the hook now. What a great dad. That message, poetry. It's almost 4 words from you for every year of her life. What more could she need from her father?" OP says, "I did try. I'm not sure what else I should have said. I think I made it clear I'd love to have a relationship with her and I'm sorry. And there is more to the story than what she's been told in my message. I didn't want to cross a line of being too fatherly in my message and tried to be respectful of the distance between us. I don't think she wants a relationship with me. It's her choice at the end of the day. I can't force it. If you have any recommendations for what I should do differently? I feel like she is sending a strong signal that she doesn't like me and wants nothing to do with me." Someone says, "Have you told the wife yet?" Opie says, "I'm not caught per se. I'm not sure how she's going to take it. I'm so different than how I was back then. My wife is big on family and is pretty conservative and traditional. I'm still a ways from telling her because I can't figure out how to frame it when talking to her. I'm hoping to talk to her about this within the next couple of months. So if any update is coming, it'll be a while. I know it's going to come out at some time, and honestly, it's a miracle it hasn't until now. And that it's better from me than someone else. Miss Trixie says, why are you waiting a couple of months? What will be different then? You know you're running the risk that your daughter will contact your wife, don't you? It would be simple for her to do it. And if she feels that you're not trying to build a relationship with her, she'd just get angrier, and then it's almost inevitable that she will do it. It's hard to think of a reason why she wouldn't do it. Opie responded saying, I just need time to figure out how to tell my wife this. We have a lot of things going on in the next few weeks, so it's not a great time to drop something like this. People said this in my first thread, and I still don't understand why she would contact my wife. I'm not ignoring her or antagonizing her. I don't see what motivation she would have to do that. I'm not ready to talk to my wife today or tomorrow about that. We're going on a family vacation on Thursday for 10 days, and I can't start this conversation before or during. Once we get back and things settle down, I'll bring it up. By then, I have time to think of something to explain why I didn't tell her earlier. Then OP comes in with what was titled the final update and says a couple of new things have happened since I last posted. I went ahead and replied back to Emily with a much longer, more thoughtful and apologetic letter. I also spoke to my wife about all of this. Emily didn't respond until a couple of days ago, and her response was much more calm in tone, which was relieving. I'm not going to repost what she said, but it was basically just I wasn't there before and she doesn't want me here now. There was some more to it, but it was kind of personal and I don't feel comfortable reposting. I responded to her and said, if that is how she felt, I understand and I won't respond to her again. So that is where we are on that front. I'm glad we are both able to at least get some closure out of this. I talked to my wife 1 week ago and just laid everything out there. She's been helping me with responding to Emily and she's been way more understanding than I expected. I explained to her how things went down and how ashamed I am about everything. About how I've tried every single day to make it up with our daughters. She understood me completely and she stood by me. I'm so glad I chose this woman as my wife. I was panicking about her leaving or divorcing because of some of the comments here. But that wasn't what happened. My wife didn't think I should beg Emily and was taken aback with her vile tone. The first message I sent was a little less than conciliatory, and the second was almost pleading. The later messages were much more composed and I think better. It looks like this Emily chapter is going to end here. She doesn't want me in her life and she has made it clear. I offered to listen to her if she needed someone to talk to and gave her my contact information if she needs anything, but I'm doubtful I will hear from her. It looks like she inherited her mother's stubbornness and pride. I feel comfortable that I've done all I can with her now. I'm spending every day now just being the best that I can to my beautiful, loving daughters. Someone said to OP on the back of this, I don't understand why she messaged you in the first place if she doesn't need you. OP says, I'm assuming it was to try and hurt me like she feels I hurt her. There were so many different, better ways this could have all happened. It's unfortunate that she didn't want to explore a relationship, but it's her choice at the end of the day. I'm going to respect that from now on. Someone says don't close the door on her. She's 17 years old, and to be frank, 17-year-olds, male and female, can be pretty stupid and emotional at the best of times. Let her grow up a bit more, and maybe she'd try and contact you again. Opie says the door is open. I told her if she changes her mind, we will be here. I've given her my and my wife's contact information if she wants to get in touch, and I told her I understand, and I hope with time she will change her mind. Someone says as Opie told the younger kids. Opie says we haven't told our kids and there are no plans to tell them about Emily. Emily rejected our offers multiple times to talk or meet up or have a relationship. Her choice of course, but we can't mention her to our daughters under the current circumstances. It's not fair to our girls to mention someone they won't ever know. It will just be confusing, maybe at a later point. Opie adds one more comment concerning Emily and the message and says, there have been a few comments from girls in the same position as Emily, and most of them have mentioned that the way they re-established contact was much nicer. I think one girl even said her response didn't deserve a reply because of how mean-spirited it was. Emily wasn't raised well. I think that is clear, so maybe there should be a different standard for her. But I think we should expect people to be civil in general. That is all I expected, civility. I think maybe I deluded myself into thinking if she reached out it would be different. That she would say something like, I really wanted to meet you or I'd love to talk. Not, I wish you were dead. And as you can imagine, on the back of this, the comments absolutely tearing OP to bits. The fact that he kept coming in saying what a fantastic dad he is now to his current daughters, and then saying shit at the end like Emily hasn't been raised well, that's clear. I mean, come on now. But how do you feel about this one? Certainly infuriating, like we was told at the very start of this post. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.